The Senate passed the Republican tax reform bill early Saturday in a massive win for the party and President Donald Trump, who has seen many of his agenda items stall in the legislature. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act passed on a vote of 51 to 49. Senator Bob Corker was the only Republican to vote against the bill. Its passage brings Republicans a step closer to their first major legislative achievement in the Trump presidency. The vote came just 3 weeks after Republicans introduced the original version. It came just hours after the text of the final version of the bill was released. GOP leaders moved the bill through the chamber at breakneck speed as they attempt to send legislation to Trump's desk by Christmas. Republican leaders won over a slew of skeptical Republican members in recent days to pass the bill. On Monday, as many as 10 GOP lawmakers were on the fence or against it, but gigantic last-minute changes were enough to ensure their support. The changes forced the debate to stretch for hours, as Republicans released a final version of their bill with changes scribbled in the margins to the text. The last-minute adjustments overcame a steady trickle of rough analyses of the bill. While Republican leaders and Trump administration officials promised as recently as 3 weeks ago that the bill would pay for itself with economic growth, the analyses have been universal. They have shown that the bill would add $1 trillion to the federal deficit over 10 years, even when accounting for the growth. The reports from various organizations, as well as the official government scorekeeper, the Joint Committee on Taxation, showed the Senate bill would produce only a modest boost to the U.S. economy that would fade over time. Since the Senate bill is different from the House version of the bill, the legislation must either go to a conference committee where members from both chambers unify the differing aspects, or the House could pass the Senate bill as it is. Following the passage of the bill, members on both sides of the aisle swiftly reacted to the news. Republicans celebrated the step forward, saying that the bill will help to reinvigorate the U.S. economy. This is a big moment for American families and small businesses ready to turn the page on an Obama-era recovery that has been far too sluggish, GOP Senator John Cornyn, the second highest-ranking Republican, said in a statement. Simplifying our nation's tax code is the jumpstart our economy needs to bring jobs back and leave more money in the pockets of hardworking Texans. On the other hand, Democrats decried the changes to Obamacare and the cuts for corporations in the bill. I offered to work with the president and Republicans, and I introduced multiple amendments that could have put real money in the pockets of Ohioans, Senator Sherrod Brown said in a statement. Instead, Washington chose to cut taxes for corporations that send American jobs overseas, blow a hole in the deficit, and pay for it by cutting Medicare and kicking people off their health insurance.